It's the end of the day. It's time to close up shop. However, something tells you to stay back for a bit. For the next hour or two, you'll be staying after hours. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Double After Hours podcast. Yeah.
The podcast about nothing.
Yeah, the podcast
exactly.
about nothing.
Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been a wonderful episode.
Cue the ending music. Anyways, I'm Aaron Gresser. I'm here with Charles Robinson.
Bazinga. Oh, that's the wrong show.
That's the wrong show, dude.
Man, awesome. Just cycle us through every single sitcom.
Yeah.
Anyway,
can you quote Full House?
I'd rather not. Everywhere I look, I would want to die.
No, okay.
Wow.
Anyways, I'm also here with Brice Guskovic.
Hey guys, how are you? I'm back.
Welcome.
Why
back.
did I ask the podcast how they're doing?
I don't know.
I mean,
really? I hope you know. I genuinely asked that, and then I realized you can't respond.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
hope
you guys.
I think it's like Dora the Explorer.
Dora the Explorer. All right, you guys.
How are you guys doing?
I'm gonna drop.
Wait,
Brice's
and we
Instagram.
also have.
And yes, Shane Siegel.
Hey, how's it going?
I didn't steal it this time.
He was ready
Thank
to
you.
jump
Yeah,
in
no
before
problem.
we even introduced him.
Exactly.
So
right, because
I
you like
didn't want
talk.
Aaron to steal my thing.
Because you like talking over people, you wench.
Oh, whoa, hold on. Wait a minute.
Speaking of wenches, Seinfeld season 1.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
The
that's
ultimate.
Transition
true.
100.
The best.
Yeah.
Not my greatest transition, but anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys read the thumbnail. You guys read the description. We're talking about Seinfeld season 1. And in case you guys probably couldn't tell, I probably put the awful start of something great in big obnoxious text on this one. And I'm sure someone out there is mad.
Warning: not
Yeah,
for the faint
probably.
of heart.
But the reason I say that is because we've been throwing around what TV shows to do on this show for a while now. And we want to do Seinfeld kind of collectively for a bit. But we decided we're going to go season by season with our shows because this is the first TV show we're talking about, obviously.
Sure.
So we're only talking about season 1 today. So the first 5 episodes, if you guys want to see us do season 3, 2, and beyond, please let us know. We do like read the analytics and kind of what you guys have been downloading and listening to the most. That's why we made Work Stories Part 2.
Yeah.
So
Belgian guy.
if you guys want, if you guys want more Seinfeld, download the crap out of this one and we'll give it to you. Anyway,
Belgian guy, please talk to your Belgian friends and
Yeah.
tell us about our
Yeah.
show.
Put up the
Please.
this dude's probably putting posters all around town.
Yeah, dude, like
He already has,
propaganda.
like, drawn
Wanted
up.
posters, get them off the internet.
Find them.
Yeah, the FCC has already found our new location. They're breaking.
Yeah,
it as we
Rick's
speak.
ready to go, dude.
Yeah, after they burned down WPON in a frenzy to find us.
Drone striked it.
Oh, dude, what are you talking about? One of those nukes that we have? Boom, gone.
Destroy.
Wasn't being used anyway.
Yeah.
Makes Detroit look a little prettier. But
Womp womp.
but speaking in obviously
You know what else isn't
pretty
beautiful?
Seinfeld
Yeah.
season 1.
I was
Specifically
gonna say
the
New York,
pilot.
but yeah, you're right. The
We'll
pilot.
get to it, but before we jump into our opinions on the pilot and the rest of the episodes, I guess we'll kind of do a roundtable thing. Well, Aaron will obviously start with you because
Okay.
it's your show.
Sure.
So, Aaron,
Yes.
what did you think of Seinfeld season 1? Like, what are your kind of expectations for it going in?
So Seinfeld season 1, it's season 1.
Right.
Season 1 is always season 1. It's not, it's not good. It's not bad. It's just kind of, the pilot. But we'll get into that in a little bit. The one thing that, because I don't usually watch season 1 too often, it's only 5 episodes.
Right.
So when I was watching it, I was like, okay, wow, there's a lot of comedy sketches in here. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of those. Okay, let's dial that back a bit. That's one of my main issues with it. And I know it's already like halfway through in the beginning.
Right.
But I'm not saying that Jerry Seinfeld's not funny.
I might.
I mean, he's got hit and miss here and there.
Right.
But, I laughed at a few of them.
Right.
Because some of them were pretty good. But there's too many of them.
Yeah.
Way,
Are you
way too
talking
many
like
of
the
them.
little intermission things?
Yeah,
where
when
it's
it's, when it's
like
the
at the
stand
stand
up.
When it like
the
stops,
stand up.
when it
That's what I
basically
meant.
stops
Yeah.
the episode to
Okay.
explain what happened.
I feel that.
Or he's like doing something that relates to it.
Well,
But
it's a
when
story.
you get into the later seasons, it's got like in the beginning and at the end. That's great. Ties it in a bow.
Right.
Get the credits.
Call it a
You're
day.
good, right?
Right.
Castle Rock Entertainment. You're good. But But that's the one thing that really got me about it. I really want to talk about the pilot.
We'll get
But
to
we'll
it.
we'll get to it.
it.
But that's kind of my general thoughts. It's okay. Some here and there. Some bits did get me. Way too much stand up.
Right. You know what, Shane? We'll actually mix it. We'll do a different order this time. Shane, we'll start with you next.
All right. Well, I started watching this last weekend, and it's the pilot or the first 5 episodes of the first season. There's something. I'll put it at that. There are a lot of relatable moments and
Right.
and stuff.
I have a whole thought process about that. We'll get into it.
So do I as well for a few parts. I mean, obviously, like again, Aaron, I'm with you. There's too much of the comedy stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot with
Man, this sitcom's too funny. Get out of here.
Come on,
guys. Let's get out of here.
There's a lot with the laugh track too. That's just there's so much laughing and
Really?
That was it. Wow. Okay.
I have opposing
never-
thoughts, but I'll save them for later.
Yeah, I noticed it when I was rewatching it, and again with like the comedy club stuff, it's just like Aaron. I agree with you. Keep it in the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
Call it a day. Wrap it in a bow. Everybody can go to sleep with a nice little smile.
If I wanted to watch Jerry Seinfeld stand up,
You'd
I'd
watch
watch
Jerry Seinfeld
Yeah,
stand-up.
watch him actually do it in person.
Or watch it in person, or a TV
Right.
special, or not Netflix special, but
Of course.
TV is irrelevant.
Yeah,
but
I think
We did a whole episode about it, dude.
yeah, which
this
you
is
should go
true.
listen to.
Yeah.
Please do.
After this one.
After this
Talking,
one, of course.
talking movies and
Or
TV
before
with
this.
Zaz. It's a good time. It's one of our
Yes.
favorites. Anyway.
And
That got
one
so
thing,
sidetracked.
one thing that I do love about like the opening season,
Yeah.
Kramer, like his character and learning about him and stuff. Just Kramer is a very interesting person. He's kind of like me, crazy.
Kessler.
Wait, Shane.
Yeah.
So you're saying you're similar to a man who jumped off a roof with just a mattress to catch his fall?
Been there, done that. No, I'm kidding.
That was my joke.
I mean, I could
Y'all
have
are-
been there.
y'all
I could have
are
done
crazy.
that. All right. Well, anyways, Brice, it's your turn.
Okay, folks. So I'm honestly going to disagree. I thought the stand-up stuff was pretty funny.
Really?
Like,
Okay.
At least because obviously, like we said, the season 1 is kind of getting its flow going.
Right. Sure.
I found most of the stand-up to be funnier than a lot of the jokes that were made in the actual like sitcom itself. Right.
Really?
So, yeah, but also I'd only seen episodes just from like scattered around seasons. So when I saw that Charlie had titled this the
Awful Start of
Something Great, I was
Great.
expecting this to be like garbage.
Yeah.
And I was like, actually finding myself laughing. I was like, except for the pilot. I was like,
Right, of course.
I was like, this isn't bad, man. Like, I don't know what Charlie's talking about. You know?
Clickbait.
And then, but
I'll be 100% with y'all.
I'm gonna have to agree with Shane on the laughing track, though. I felt it was definitely overused to the point where I was
Thank
like,
you.
was that supposed to be a joke, or was that just kind of like a statement, or like if,
This laugh
Yeah,
track is
there-
a statement
yeah.
on public health.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and there were some parts where
Yes, yeah.
it was genuinely funny. In some, and I even watched
Right.
5 episodes with my mom, and we both laughed. And some that were just like, it gave me a chuckle.
There was one thing that it's another thing I was going to mention is there were a few scenes or like scene transitions that were kind of like, oh, that's a little weird. It was
That was a transition, all right.
it was in the episode where he was getting the new apartment.
Yes.
And
I
and
know what that one
Costanza, he's like when Jerry finally agrees to it, it cuts to a shot of Costanza just standing there going, "Congratulations,"
Yeah, that was
and then it
weird.
just fades out. Like what?
Yeah.
That was
That
so
was kinda
odd.
yeah, I
Like, we're getting like
that.
indie film with it. Man, I didn't know A24 was behind this one. But dude, I would,
A24 Seinfeld would go
I
so
would
hard.
kill for that. Guys,
That would be awesome.
listen, complain about A24 Seinfeld cut. Do it.
Yeah. Complain about it. We'll make an
I
episode.
cannot
about it.
wait for
Please.
Zac Efron to play George Costanza. It's going to be great. He could sing "Bet on It" and yell about how he killed his wife. I don't know, man. What? Well, yeah, we'll get into that with later Seinfeld seasons if
Yes.
you guys like this one. But anyway,
Yes.
so I'll finish this one out because I know we kind of been talking about it. So I don't like saying this a ton because it always comes out a little obnoxious. But I go to school for film, guys. I know more than you.
Wow, what a loser!
Thanks, Shane.
dude, I just watched Shirley's neck vein just bulge out, dude. I thought he was gonna pop a blood vessel.
I do-
Can't wait to see that waveform.
hit red.
Really beat mine.
Yeah, it hit red.
Circle back to it, bro.
Yeah,
Bring
Aaron's
it
gonna
right back.
be half deaf like me. Another one. But
yeah.
anyway,
Another one joins the ring.
add to the cause, baby.
Aaron, I am sorry.
Yeah, future Aaron. I hope you need a hearing aid. But anyway,
Yeah.
But
Hope you need a hearing aid.
but if there's one word I can describe this season as, it's kind of awkward. Not gonna lie.
Yes.
Kind of like this first season of the Double After Hours podcast. But anyway, but the point is that
Episode 1.
like,
The pilots.
yeah.
The pilots. Oh!
but
The
anyway,
double afters pilot.
But the reason I bring that up is because I think it's interesting that we're talking about season 1 of a show where it was definitely kind of getting its stuff together, and we're currently in our season 1
Right.
where we're still kind of laying the groundwork of totally what we want to be. I mean, heck, we talked for like an hour totally of what we want this kind of to be before we started.
Sometimes it's an hour and a half.
No,
Yeah.
right. And I just find that kind of interesting where you're looking at all the growing pains and stuff. And like, I think it was Shane and like you guys were kind of saying the laugh track was a little too extra. I honestly thought it was fine. And the reason I say that is because everyone always kind of brings up when they think about sitcoms, especially nowadays, like, man, this laugh track is awkward. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
But like,
Come on, guys.
yeah, come on. But anyway.
Yeah.
But the reason they do that is because, again, live studio audience.
Sure.
And also partially because if you watch the behind the scenes Friends documentary they did a couple years back before Matthew Perry passed away, rest in peace.
Yeah.
They kind of talked about how they kind of needed these live runs to kind of make sure a lot of jokes were landing and kind of what stuff was working, what stuff was not, which is kind of partially why Matthew Perry's career actually didn't take off after Friends, because he needed that live reaction to make sure he was doing his job. And also SNL has this exact same problem too, where they do a dry run of all the sketches they kind of want to do that Saturday night, and when they find a couple that aren't working because their test audiences aren't laughing, they take them out.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell that's what's happening here. Like, they kind of need that reaction. They need that knee-jerk, like, what's working, what's not, because this show, largely in its current state in season 1, obviously, it feels weird criticizing this show, because we know it gets a lot better as it goes on.
Oh,
and especially in this
definitely.
season, where it does
Right.
get better as the episodes go on.
Oh, of course.
But I guess to kind of wrap this whole tirade up about jokes and reactions is that you kind of need that laugh track, that engagement for the writers and for the actors to figure out what's kind of working. Like, that's really important. And, you know, that's why I don't get annoyed with it as much. Honestly, I thought there wasn't enough of it, which is a weird take. But
Yeah.
again, obviously, we already mentioned it. The stand-up segments, get rid of them, or at least get rid of some of them, because
Yeah. Tone 'em back.
They stopped the episode, basically.
Yeah.
We stopped the pacing in its tracks, which I'll get into pacing as we go on. But, yeah, I don't know.
That's what made the later episodes so great, is that flow that
No,
they had.
just that quick pacing, which
Yeah.
this season generally lacks.
Yeah.
Like, it is so slow. Like, you know the scene in episode 3 where they're, like, looking at the apartment and they're, like, kind of walking around?
Yeah,
It's just
walking
very slow. They're
around
just
and-
like, whoa.
There's like a joke here and there.
Wow.
There's a fireplace.
There's a fireplace,
There's a
Jerry!
walk-in
You
closet.
can hide the bodies! Like,
I
anyway.
got a gun. Do I need a gardener? Do I got to tip
I was
the
about to say, do I
gardener?
need to tip him?
Do I need to tip the charcoal guy? It's
Yeah,
like,
you probably tip him with the wood guy.
Yeah, tip the wood guy.
yeah, you have to tip him with this gun. But anyway.
It's like, it's just like, come on, move along. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Brice,
you
I
move,
see you
move,
smiling.
yeah, but yeah, and that's generally where a lot of my problems come from this season. Just move it along, or just scenes that, in my opinion, are happening out of order. Just totally in terms of when some of the stuff should just take place.
Right.
But that's enough of what we generally think. Let's start with episode 1, the pilot.
Aaron, I think we should save you for last.
No, Aaron, I've been yapping. You go first.
Fuming. Okay. Yeah. It's fuming time. So you know it.
It's fuming time.
It's fuming time.
That's my
you know it.
favorite Fantastic Four catchphrase.
It's fuming time.
This
Man,
pilot.
I died at that.
This pilot, just when I sat and watched this for the first time, and it's not, well, it wasn't my first time. It was the first time in a while, because I try to avoid it like the plague. I sat there and I wondered, how in the world did this show get picked up with a pilot like that?
I'll get to it.
Yeah,
How
we'll get
in
to
the
it.
world did that even happen?
There's
Yeah.
a lot that was going on in that
That
episode.
pilot, what I can describe it as, two guys sitting around.
A show about nothing.
That's what I get out of it. Is two guys sitting around.
Unlike this show,
At a
where it's,
coffee-
four,
and-
where it's
yeah.
4 guys sitting around.
Four
Yeah.
guys sitting around, right? You have Kessler, which that was like, okay, I forgot that was in there. It's Kramer's proto name. Forgot about that one. And I don't understand, how in the world did somebody look at that and say, okay, yeah, that's fine. All I see is what, like, I just hate to sound like a broken record here, but That's what it is. It's two guys sitting around, and the other thing too, kind of jumping all over the place, is the switch between videotape and film.
Oh my god, yeah.
I did notice that too. As someone who works in video services, I did notice that.
Here's the
I already
thing.
used my one yelling I'm in a video, like a film career nonsense.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks Shane.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But it's just that shift between the two. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it is.
No, it is.
Because you have a shift in not only video quality,
Yeah.
but
Like
you
the
also
tone and the
you also have a
mood.
shift of frame rate.
Yes.
That's another thing, and I know you're the film guy, and we'll let you.
No,
in a
but
minute.
like you also work with and Shane.
Yes,
does
I
too.
work with video.
We've all worked
Exactly.
with tech before.
Right.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like we all can talk about this. This isn't just a me
Right.
thing. Like, come on.
And I understand why they did it. It's the pilot. Of course, you have to, use
What you
certain
got?
technology, when you have to. And of course, if you
Man,
think about
why did the show that was made in the 80s use 80s technology?
but here's the thing.
Why in your film complaint?
Speaking
How come in Star Wars they use models but not CGI? Get with it.
Get with the program.
I could make it better. Lucas is a hack.
Guys, can you tell we're thinking about doing the Star Wars holiday special?
Guys, I really want to do Phantom Menace this week, but Brice really didn't want to, so we're doing Seinfeld
Thanks a
season
lot,
1.
Bryce.
There you go.
It's okay.
I just
But-
think it's boring.
No, you're right.
It is.
Well, that's
Dialogue-
but that's why it's really funny. But anyway, back to boring.
Anyway,
Seinfeld.
Back to boring.
Wrong boring.
Seinfeld pilot.
Back to
galaxy.
Barry B. Benson.
Kramer had different hair. I don't know what to do.
Like,
Yes.
his hair was whack.
That whole episode just kind of felt like a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Like when you take a look between episode 1 and episode 2, it's like, whoa, okay,
It's a different.
that's a lot different and better. Going back to the quality, with the videotape and film. Film's expensive.
Yes.
Oh,
Film
100%.
is very expensive, especially since what were they shooting on? 35 millimeter? I think
That's industry standard. So yeah.
yeah. They're shooting on 35 millimeter film. You got to think of the technology at the time, of course. You're watching this on a big old fat screen CRT. It's you're not going to see. I mean,
Right.
sure, the astute viewers would,
Yes.
but that's why the Seinfeld looks so great nowadays. Is because they shot it all on 35 millimeter. So you get to see, all those intricate details, and
Right.
it looks great. The remaster that they've done is great. Hate the widescreen. Cuts off jokes.
Like, oh my god.
That's another thing, but that's a Netflix
Issue.
Blu-ray
Yeah, 'cause
problem.
I don't know if I'm assuming we all watch this on Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just the most convenient way, so we just went
Yeah, I
for
mean,
it.
I have it on DVD.
Of course. Yeah, I know. I've seen yours. You got the whole
100%.
collection.
Yeah.
But no, it's that widescreen thing. It's annoying, especially with the videotaped scenes. When they zoom it in, it gets even more
affects-
crusty, and it's like, oh
It
no.
affects the way you.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
it's kind of like when you go on Google Images and you're like looking for pictures of something, but
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you save it or the copy is blurry before like it enhances.
Yeah,
It's like,
before it has time to
oh.
load. Yeah.
True.
But getting away from the technical side,
Right,
because I know
plot stuff.
I love to talk about radio and TV and technical behind the scenes
But it's
crap.
interesting.
It is interesting, yes, but Seinfeld is much more than. Oh, it's on a videotape, yeah.
There's a lot more.
Yeah, Seinfeld was just.
What's the deal with different video quality?
It's just a big tech demo for the film companies, the Kodak Film and U-Matic.
You can really tell
Yeah.
the insecurity on the short one.
Yeah,
Insecurity on the bald one.
but
Speaking of George and
yeah.
kind of Jerry, and kind of moving into the plot of
yeah.
episode one.
Let's move into plot
Right.
and let's go around the room because I don't want to just be the only one talking.
The best way I can kind of describe this episode is that it feels like it's still trying to do what I would argue Seinfeld does, because I always hated the phrase "a show about nothing" with this
Yeah.
show. I think it's the worst way to describe it because
Yeah.
things actually happen. Like I've talked to my parents about this a billion times because they're like, "But Charlie, they're just everyday people." But no, they're not.
No, they're not.
They are
Jerry
not.
is a successful comedian in New York. That's not normal.
Yeah.
George is still leeching off his parents. That's unfortunately normal.
Right, and apparently
Kramer
in the
is-
early seasons he was selling apartments.
Yeah, he was
He's
a
a
realtor,
realtor.
I guess.
Yeah.
With a very weird bowling shirt.
And I hate that was never explained.
It was
Like that was never really set up.
Right.
So you don't have to go through like a whole life story. You could show
Yeah,
them
let's-
maybe like,
It all started when I was born.
right. You don't have to do that. You just set up something that lets the audience know, oh, he works in real estate. He sells apartments.
Right.
He's a That's what he does
He
for
was
a
a
living.
bowler, if you look at him.
Yeah,
But anyway.
right. And then,
Point-
of course, later seasons dropped that. And,
Point being is
yeah.
that it's a show about something, and you can kind of tell with the way it's presenting itself early on because it's the most sitcom diner they start in the world.
Of
Yeah.
course.
It's all poppy and obnoxious. It looks like Full House's diarrhea dump. But anyway.
Yeah.
And you know what?
And the thing that gets me about that too is, and going back to the videotape, the videotape film thing, is that it flips all
Yes.
the time. The main shot is on tape,
Yes.
and then it
The
switches to
establishing.
a side shot, and then you see it's on film. It's like, what is going on
Right.
here? What are you clowns doing back
It's a
there?
weird
conundrum.
some amateur stuff.
Oh,
right
it's
here.
amateur hour, all right.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks like a
100%.
college film. It's kind of what it
I
looks
mean,
like. Does it feel
As
like
someone
it?
who's been in some, yeah.
Same,
Yeah.
Hey, ditto that for me.
No.
But anyway, Bryce, you've been too quiet.
So, I'm going to be honest. I was, up until Aaron said that, trying to remember the plot of the first one because I was trying to recycle through them all in my heads of okay, which one went to which episode, which plot.
Right.
And I think I legitimately just blocked out that first episode because I can remember all 4 other episodes.
Right.
That was the one
Do you want me
where
to-
You're
Yeah.
speaking to
opened
a
up-
lot of people right now. Okay.
Exactly.
It it opened up in the diner and it was Jerry talking about the girl that wanted to fly in, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was, oh my gosh, yeah, that was
There you go,
bad.
brain blast.
And
That
it
was
just
bad.
goes and goes
And it goes and goes and then I don't even remember did they ever even resolve it?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
she came in.
Yeah, it was a thing-
she
it was like
came
a
in, but
court scene, yeah.
they
She
never
came
ended
in.
up it basically was oh yeah, I'm engaged, and then it just
And then
kind
just
of
cuts
ended.
there.
Yeah, it
No,
just
yeah.
kind
Which
of
is
ended.
a problem other episodes have too. We'll get to
but
that.
yeah, I mean,
it
it's
just
a problem.
doesn't
Yeah.
build onto the story. It's
Yeah,
just,
but to open it up, like Aaron said, how did this ever get picked up? Where it's
Yeah.
you see the woman and she did the whole blindfold surprise joke.
Right. Guess who?
Which I mean, it was kind of funny of the whole what type of introductions and George is trying
I
to walk him
cringed at
through.
that part.
I kind of chuckled at that, but it wasn't anything
Right.
special. It wasn't anything spectacular. Where I was like, wow, this is some peak comedy right here.
And then you have later on when Jerry's sitting on top of the washing machine. He's getting ready to do the older brother pep talk. Something
Yeah.
why are you doing that?
Yeah.
it gave me the same energy. Just hey, Scotty.
Oh,
Jesus, man.
I was
jeez.
questioning why Jerry was sitting on the washing machine. the
Yeah.
whole
Feel
time.
something.
pleasure.
So
I mean, I did say to feel something.
okay. Anyways, back to Seinfeld.
Yeah, back to Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's a different.
It was.
And
it
also,
was.
in the beginning of the first episode, him and George are talking about a girl. And that's
as we established. Yeah.
yeah, of course,
Yes.
and that's a thing that all guys talk about. That's basically how.
Let's talk about girls right now.
What?
Let's derail the whole episode.
Yeah.
Shane.
We're not talking about.
So Canadian girl in DC.
We're telling that story again.
No.
Oh,
Again,
no.
one more time around.
Just in case they didn't
And
hear
then
it the first time.
and then
Previously on the Double After Hours podcast.
Bryce fumbled like a linebacker in the Super Bowl.
fumbled the bag again.
Call me Dak Prescott the way I fumbled that playoff.
Dude, that's just depressing.
Yeah, it is. Now back to Seinfeld. They're talking about this and yada yada. And one thing I also didn't remember is that Elaine wasn't casted in the show
Yes.
yet.
No.
Yeah,
She
I
wasn't in
noticed
the first
that.
episode.
Yeah, she was what?
She wasn't in the first
Exactly,
episode.
because it was just George, Kramer, and Jerry as the main three.
Which, don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, but in the second one, it's okay, you have this and then you have that. And where did this come from? You didn't explain any of
How
that.
did
Of course,
Elaine show
later
up?
on down the road when you watch the show, you understand it. But if you were sitting there, 1989, you're there for the premiere. It's oh, okay, huh? Who's that? Where's
Who's
she
this
come
random
from?
chick that showed up?
You can say that about George too, though.
Well, I mean, he's an establishing character
Yeah, he
too. But
is.
again,
You
One
can
of
also
the
say that about
characters.
Kramer.
Was Kramer in the first episode?
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
he was
He just
Kessler.
he was Kessler, and then
Yeah.
completely different character.
Kessler to Kramer. That works.
It's a better name choice.
Kessler run.
Kessler.
Kessler run.
But yeah, the whole episode, again, we're very scatterbrained talking about this, but that's just because the episode is just
It
just
is.
Jerry and Seinfeld going, man, I don't know if this girl likes me, guys. And then she shows up and
She's
she
like, oh hey,
and
and it's she likes him, and then she reveals.
But hold on, before we get to that, the scene where they're just kind of in their apartment, no laugh track, just kind of you know,
Yeah.
the whole thing. She unbuttons the top button of her shirt, it's a whole
Right.
thing
Follow
with Gene.
suit.
Of course.
Like it's a whole
He's
thing.
trying to hit home base.
Yeah, thanks,
No,
Shane.
you know.
We couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But anyway. And then, oopsie, she's engaged,
Yeah.
which is weird because it felt like we should have gotten to this point quicker,
Yeah.
you know? Like, I want to, because they kept talking about how they're going to go on a boat ride and see all the stuff, da.
Right.
Why didn't we see that? Like, okay, I know the reason, budgetary, obviously.
Of course.
But, like, something, you know, because, like, that's a fun, awkward kind of situation to put your character in to see how they're going to get themselves out of. So it feels like we're kind of starting a new kind of part of the episode, and then it just kind of ends with Jerry going, I don't understand women. You get it? Like, it's
Yeah, and then it
I
just
don't understand
ends.
women.
like, because it just feels like a lot of wasted breath
Yeah.
in episode
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just characters kind of yapping.
Which is why it's
honestly,
skippable.
I would be okay with if the jokes were funny. Because honestly, here's the thing about comedy that I think separates a lot of other genres of TV and film. You can get away with a lot of dumb plot stuff if you're funny.
Yeah.
True.
You can get away with so much.
That's how Family Guy survived.
Well, yeah,
And
and
it's
then
still
it got not funny.
surviving.
Yeah, exactly.
And South Park.
Well, yeah, because South Park is still funny.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can get away with so much nonsense if you just make the audience laugh. And, you know, obviously I'm not going to sit there and go, this didn't make me laugh, so it's bad. But, like, because obviously, hey, everyone finds different things funny. Comedy, to some degree, is a little subjective.
Sure.
But I do think this episode didn't do the best job at setting its characters up to success for their comedic kind of purposes, mainly just because they didn't play into their idiosyncrasies as much as kind of later seasons do.
Yeah.
Because George just kind of seemed like a regular guy.
Yeah.
You should not be able to
Right.
describe Costanza as a regular guy.
No, he's not.
Kramer seemed like just kind of a weird guy. Kramer's
weird-
way more than a weird guy.
Yeah.
Like, you know? And I don't know. I guess that's kind of generally my thoughts on episode 1. If anyone else has anything else to add, we'll move on to episode 2.
Costanza decided to rig up a Frogger machine and push it across the street.
Yeah.
He's
Amen.
not a regular guy.
Amen.
I was gonna say, even by the end of season 1, you can start to tell Costanza's not just a regular
No,
guy.
totally.
He's got like, if you look in like the end of the last episode. I'm sorry if I'm jumping the gun a little.
No, it's okay.
No, it's fine.
But like you see the scene where he makes off with all the stock money.
Yeah.
And so he's like,
Right.
got his leg on the diner table.
He's got a
and
cigar.
He's got the cigar.
Yeah.
And he's telling him all to eat.
He's using his
Which
money.
was cracking me
That
up
was very
super.
funny.
But that just proves like episode
not a
1
normal
just
person.
wasn't developed enough. Not only obviously we mentioned film and like budget wise and all that, but just writing wise, it could have done so much
Right.
more than just fall flat on its face.
And also partially because whenever you're starting a show or a book or a movie, well, not necessarily a movie, we'll just go with a show or a book.
Yeah.
There's two things that a lot of writers do. One, they either have a plan from the very start about how they want some of these characters to work, who they want to interact with. They have a whole storyline for them.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they kind of go by the seat of their pants and figure it out as they go along. A lot of shows sometimes do that.
Yeah.
Obviously, this show did that to some degree. Because if you remember, George Costanza had a whole bit about going the opposite about your instincts, which is really
Yeah.
funny.
That is
if
great.
you remember a later Seinfeld episode where he does exactly that.
Yeah.
True.
But anyway,
I still quote that today,
right.
which is just goes to show how memorable this entire thing. Why we remember him.
Right. Why
George
we remember
Costanza.
why we remember George Costanza.
Just like
That's the original name. This is the new one.
Just like why did we remember Clutch Powers, which that's also another episode you should listen
no,
to.
don't.
No, it's not.
Please,
Don't.
no,
It's
listen.
okay.
Just listen
Yeah.
to it. Anyways, on
Give
to
us love, please.
on to episode 2.
Right.
Yeah.
The better one.
The better one.
Yeah.
Just getting there.
Stakeouts.
If this would have been the pilot, it would have been fine.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
It was kind of a slope, honestly, for me.
Right.
Watching all those episodes.
I mean, it certainly went uphill. I'm just saying.
No, of
there
course.
was
Of
a
course.
big difference between 1
Right.
and 2, and then the rest is kind of more gradual.
Right, because I remember the female community for episode 2.
True. Finally.
Well, I mean, there is women in episode 1, but they're background characters. But whatever.
Side characters.
Yeah, maybe no, because there's background. They didn't really say anything.
Well, there's some side that like came into shot, like the one woman that poured the coffee.
right, the waitress. Right.
Yeah, the
But anyway,
waitress, a few others. Anyways, to episode 2.
Oh, back to
Yeah.
episode 1, just real
Never
quick.
mind
One last comment. Gotta give praise that they had someone from Michigan. In the
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the
the woman,
the
is
woman
from
with Laura.
Lansing.
Yeah, she was
That's
from Lansing.
right.
From Michigan.
Claire, that was her name.
Yeah. So there you go.
No,
Michigan
It was
reference in
her
the
name,
terrible
Claire.
pilot. Yeah.
Yeah, the woman from East Lansing. Her name was Claire.
her name was Laura.
Her name was Laura.
Oh, it was Laura.
Yeah, it was
I'm
Laura.
sorry.
Laura.
That was the. I'm sorry.
But anyway,
Okay. Anyways. Yes.
But yeah, we're at episode 2, and we start with Elaine and Jerry in a video store, and because again, this is our first introduction to Elaine, and I gotta say, kind of a weird one.
Very.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just kind of. This is like, honestly, it's like all of us going to like a Blockbuster. If Blockbuster
Right.
was still around.
All right,
But if all of us, if all of us went there, this is the kind of stuff I would expect there. We're all like poking around with like making fun of movies and whatever.
Right, which is what we do in Barnes & Noble anyway.
Right, Barnes & Noble. Yeah, there you go.
Same with like records and stuff.
Right, anyway, that's our modern day equivalent. But
Yeah.
and we're introduced to Elaine, and I don't know, I think Elaine gets much better in episode 3.
Yes.
Like, obviously
Of
they were
course.
still, and again, for every character, they're still figuring them out themselves.
There's
out.
a lot of character
But
development.
Elaine, man, they just kind of played her up as like the wee 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 kind of character.
as
It
the
was
whiny,
like,
as the whiny,
Peter.
the lowest of Seinfeld.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Holy crap, Lois! I'm meeting Jerry Seinfeld. Peter, you can't do that. You gotta go to
Hey, Peter,
Chris's
I met this one guy. His name's George Costanza.
Hey, Peter, I met Kramer.
Hey, Peter, I met Kramer. You should come on by.
Remember the time, Peter? We met Kramer?
Oh,
What's this turning
Adelaine
into?
was something else.
All right, but okay, now going on with episode
Jerry,
2.
I'm gonna jump off the roof. Oh, that's nasty.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, welcome back to our Jerry Seinfeld Family Guy collab.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed whenever I edit these episodes, not episode these edits, when I edit these
grammar.
episodes, is I go through and like every once in a while it just kind of ramps up with a big block of us laughing, about something, and then it goes back down tonally. So you just have the spikes. So funny.
God,
Of
but anyway,
course.
episode 2.
Episode 2. Yes.
Episode 2. Jerry, Elaine, they're exes. They're through, but they're still friends. Kind of weird, but we'll get to it.
With benefits.
Not really. They're not. They're really not. What?
Did you watch the episode, Shane?
Oh, yeah, no, I did.
Half of it is them not
But
talking.
later on in the
Yeah.
show, they become friends with benefits.
Do they? I don't
they?
think
Do
they had
For
a
one
whole,
episode, they do, but that's for
they had a
future.
whole episode where they talked about describing sex as playing tennis.
That was funny.
That was very
But
funny.
it's in another episode. But back to episode 2.
Nah,
They're
I'm
Elaine's
supposed to
in town. They broke up. They're
I mean, she
still
lives there.
friends.
She's like always in town.
pretty much.
Yeah.
They go to a house.
Pretty much.
They go to a. Okay. They go to a party.
Shane didn't watch the episode.
No, I did watch the episode.
I don't know, Shane.
Everything you said is on the contrary.
I did watch. You know what? Just.
He's fuming over Seinfeld. He's fuming.
I'm actually not. Anyways, they go to a party.
Well, no, remember, Jerry didn't really want to go to the party.
Yeah,
and
he
then he
didn't
gets
want to.
roped into it.
Exactly.
Because that one girl that he remembered.
Yeah, Vanessa.
Vanessa.
Yeah.
Vanessa, I'm
From-
a material
From
girl.
Sigma Ligma Kappa or whatever the fraternity was, or whatever the place was called. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But wasn't there one Sigma in there? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Sigma Ligma Kappa. Yeah.
The brain rot's really gotten to Charlie.
You followed up a Five Nights at Freddy's joke that Shane made with Sigma Ligma Kappa.
Can you really tell we're
Just,
disbelief of what I just heard.
sorority you are a part of, but that is not one.
Oh, can you really tell the brain rot's gone to us in this episode? This is what Seinfeld Season 1 does to you. It just makes you brain rotted.
This is what the pilot does to you.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, we get to episode 2.
Yeah,
And they're at the
episode 2,
party,
yeah.
right? And Elaine is like trying to talk to Jerry about a dream, because he was in the dream or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
He
I
had
don't-
wooden teeth.
He had wooden teeth.
That's what it was. And
But
you
he
know,
wasn't listening.
and Jerry doesn't care because he wants to deal with Vanessa or whatever.
Yeah, he's having inner monologues.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, bad.
Terrible.
The I didn't bring a gift bit was actually kind of funny.
That was kind of okay.
It was.
Because I'm not going to say I have been there, but I've been in a situation where I was almost there.
I have been there.
Okay.
All right. Experienced.
Now, and also in this episode, Jerry sees Vanessa leave with another man. However, he learns that she works at a law firm called Sigmund Bennett Robbins.
There was a sing in there. There was a sing in there. I was half right.
I almost said it, but I did say the full name, which is good. Which I did not say Sigma.
You forgot the other two words. Sigma
No,
Ligma Kappa.
I'm naming my law firm that. I'm not even a lawyer. I'm just gonna build one just to name it Sigma Ligma Kappa
build your-
Law
You know
Firm.
you have rights. The Constitution says you do. Go down to Sigma Ligma Kappa to find out what you can do.
Well, did you get arrested? Tell him you can Ligma.
Better call Brice.
Dude, what's Breaking Bad?
Better call.
Dude, I am so down for that.
Yeah.
Which one we're also down for? Seinfeld season 1.
Anyways,
Charlie,
That
enough with
was-
the neck veins, okay? Breathe.
I'm not using them.
You
But
used them earlier.
anyway,
what?
they leave the party and we get into this whole bit where Jerry Seinfeld and George Gaganza are talking about like why they're in the building because they don't want to look like stalkers because they had a whole conversation with Jerry's parents before about I don't want to look like I'm stalking this girl. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And obviously like they kind of want to come up with a good reason, which comes up to a genuinely funny joke.
Yeah, that was really fun. I mean, it was the first appearance of Art Vandelay,
Of course.
and I'm an architect.
Exactly. The architect.
For railroads.
Don't engineers do that? Sometimes.
Not all the time, but
Oh,
yeah, so we get this
man.
whole bit, and this episode is actually called the stakeout, right?
Yeah.
But the way we're describing the episode makes it sound like we jump from straight from the party to the stakeout. No, the stakeout is like 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
We
cut
missed the
out
part with
a lot
the-
of fluff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Parents and the wedding.
The wedding.
Right, because this whole bit where like Elaine's mad that Jerry's into other women because at this point they're like I don't want to say they're freshly broken up, but they're not like a year off of the breakup. Like if this was recent enough where she would be mad about this,
Right.
which is the whole problem in the episode that Jerry likes Vanessa, da 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 da, but Elaine's like nah, whatever. So eventually they have a semi-adult conversation where they're like, hey, we gotta be comfortable with each other dating other people.
Yeah.
Which, all right, because clearly, I guess they're trying to set up Jerry and Elaine as kind of a will they won't they nonsense, which they do for the rest of the show, which
Right.
I guess we'll talk about later if we do other seasons of this.
In the future.
But yeah, I don't know. The episode was like again the best part of the episode was the stakeout itself because George Costanza was being George Costanza in like
Yeah.
his form. So
So they finally made him just not a guy.
yeah, they made him the neurotic mess that we all love.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't really have much else to say.
Nah, that episode was
episode
just
two?
kind of like a...
Yeah, it was just kind of here and there.
Except for the architect.
Except for the
Yeah.
architect.
And the
architect.
importer exporter. That was
Oh,
also
importer exporter.
yeah.
Forgot
How
about
can
that.
we
that was
forget?
that whole
Can't
whole
forget that
scene
guy.
and interaction was
Right.
very funny.
Oh yeah, because this is the way that also comes back, and my family's obsessed with being import or export.
Yeah.
Like some of my family works in import and export. It's like always a big conversation, like oh man.
Yeah.
But anyway,
He's an
Do you know an Art
And-
Vandelay?
Yeah, right.
right?
Oh yeah, and they're playing the board game too.
They're playing what?
What was
Oh,
it? Scrabble?
Scrabble.
Oh, that was Quone. That was the other funny thing from that episode was
That's
Quone.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, Jerry, you quoned somebody. It's an old surgeon's word.
An old surgeon's word.
What was it? Was that what the? Yeah, it was a surgeon. Yeah, it was a surgeon's term.
You gotta quote them.
You gotta quone him, which is now officially in the dictionary. By the
Is
way,
it actually?
I believe it is. I saw it
I'm looking
because I
this up.
looked it up too, and I saw it was like on some dictionary site. So I don't think it was.
Okay.
It might have been
The
Merriam-Webster.
definite...
Because I know yada yada yada's in there too.
Oh,
fictional
that's right.
medical term can be used to mean something
yeah,
you
there you go.
have to do and can't remember the word to say. Additional information: a neologism created in the Stakeout episode of the TV series
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
I'm gonna do a quote section on you, baby.
a quote section.
Oh jeez.
Wow. Anyways, on to episode 3.
On to 3.
The robbery.
Yeah, Jerry got robbed, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
felt nothing
I didn't feel anything either.
because there's nothing in his apartment anyway. So
The
Most of it
the-
doesn't
Except though
focus
the
on the
TV
robbery.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
This episode should have been called The Apartment.
He literally goes to the cop. Do you ever find something? No, not really.
that was really funny. Though.
That
I
was
like
funny.
That one. No, but the part where Jerry's explaining to Kramer about like what happened, and Kramer's like, "Oh, I came in here, I forgot to close the door," and he's like, "Well, the only thing for a door to work is that the door has to be closed."
Yeah, this lock only has one defect, and it's because it has to be closed.
Right, that was funny.
State of the
I
art
love
lock.
that part.
State of the art lock.
yeah.
Right.
State of the art lock.
And I think this kind of speaks to what we do like about this early season.
Sure.
And Seinfeld as a whole is that when they focus on the idiosyncrasies and like weird kind of quirks of the characters, it's funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
That's what makes this show work. Not some big grand plot, not sitcom shenanigans, just
Right.
the weird nonsense of people in New York.
yeah.
That's why it's funny.
Yeah.
And when they do it, it's great.
Of course.
Kramer forgets to lock the door. Of course he does, because he busts through the door as previously established, which is very funny that they acknowledge a consequence for that in season 1.
I mean, it's the one that's coming to mind to me is the contest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so nonsensical. Like they're all looking at this girl on the other side of the street through the binoculars. Kramer comes in. I'm out.
I love that.
And we're getting way ahead, but still.
Can we
it's-
cover that episode in November?
Yeah. I'd say so.
There's all and
Love the
this is all-
contest.
this
That's such a
episode
great
also-
episode.
the double after hours contest.
We take a trip back to WPON.
I'm out.
Hey, Charlie, I'm also out.
Wow.
Oh, that's slam.
They just had to one up me like that. Hold on, Mike. Are we all good with the
Yeah,
mics?
you're good.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
good.
good.
For context, one of the mic cords is a little goofy, so we
And
gotta
that's
stick with it.
Charlie's
It's working.
mic.
Gotta get a
Yeah,
And
replacement.
with this episode, Elaine's also trying to get out of her old apartment with her roommate Tina, who is a waitress / actress, hoping to get a
Yeah.
part.
And she's like,
She's
that's
not
a whole
good.
thing.
She is not good.
Never see it though.
Yeah,
I
It's
never
like-
see it, but I can just tell she is not good.
And that kind of also comes down to where I think a lot of this show sometimes flounders a little bit in season 1, where, oh my god, it's the most pretentious term in the world. And
Yeah.
even the Iowa Writers Workshop makes fun of you if you're using it too much, but show don't tell. Like,
I mean, yeah.
listen, I try to avoid saying that term sometimes because, again, you get a lot of flack sometimes for just saying it because it's the worst great advice you can give. Be specific about it. When we are being specific about it, is that show Elaine's torment.
Right. Even a flashback would be fine.
Right. Just show her going through it. We're on her side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Right. But instead, we just hear about it,
yeah,
and
they
we just have
mention
to.
it. I'm sorry, keep going.
We just have to kind of imagine what's going on. Yes.
Because they mentioned it again in a later episode. I don't remember if it was 4 or 5, but they mentioned the waitress actress and the terrible performances in the practice again. And I was like, wow, I still haven't seen this.
Right.
I still don't know how miserable is it. Is it just that it's loud, or is it that it's bad? Like
Right.
because there's too much to fill in the blanks.
Right.
Which is why I agree with show don't tell.
Right. But again, you need to be specific about what you need in the show don't tell. And what we mean by that is just show Elaine's torment. We're going to be on her side.
The one thing I do like about Seinfeld, and this is not just about season 1, this is about like a lot of them, is the show can kind of like go back to earlier episodes and like, or even at like a previous
The
episode.
finale is like a testament to that.
Right.
Pretty
and
much.
it can go around, but you don't have to sit and watch every episode in order
Right.
to understand the entire plot.
That was just a lot of sitcoms back then.
Yeah.
Just because in our pre-streaming age where everything needed to be an episode, like I guess serialized, like, you need to watch episode 1 to understand episode 2, and like, obviously.
Of course.
Or
That's
like
just the way
watch
they-
one movie to understand the other movie, kind of like with the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right. Like
Just
it
not as
was-
egregious.
It was a simpler age
Before the dark times.
Yeah.
before the dark times.
The Dark Ages.
Dark Ages.
This was the Seinfeld Dark Ages.
Jerry, I'm the Grim Reaper of Death.
Yeah.
Grim Reaper of Death, as if
Wow,
As
so
of
he's
what-
just
as of
double
what?
death.
I mean, like it's kind of implied the Grim Reaper of Death, like.
This is the Grim Reaper of life.
Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper of Death just sounds like a band name trying too hard. You know what I'm saying?
like-
Can I
a
just like
kid's
extra murder,
band
kill,
name.
extra maximum?
Or what about Loaded Dice?
Turbo Murder.
Turbo Murder.
Felony.
Something I noticed, actually, I'm reading the Wikipedia here for season 1.
The wiki sign?
The robbery was not written by Larry David and
Really?
Seinfeld. It was written by Matt Goldman.
Weird.
So that might explain
explains
some
why it
weird.
sucks.
Matt Goldman?
He's a guy.
He's just a
Hey, you
What,
gonna
they
look
they
up
just
Matt
pick up a
Goldman?
random guy from the streets of New York. Hey, you want to write an episode of Seinfeld? Come on over.
What's
He was-
Seinfeld?
He was a.
Oh, I'll explain it to you, buddy. Just come inside. Don't worry, you'll be safe.
Oh.
Wink.
He wrote for Seinfeld and Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh,
That
Ellen
explains it
DeGeneres.
all.
The Ellen DeGeneres, like the talk show, or like her sitcom she had back in the day. Like on
It just says
ABC.
Ellen.
Wait, she had a sitcom?
Yeah, that's how Ellen gained a lot of her popularity. She used to be
Oh.
like on scripted TV before she had her talk show.
I did not know that.
Before she was Dory.
Before she went on to scripted TV.
I think
Yeah.
it was the sitcom.
Okay.
Okay. Well, now going back to episode 3, like they're trying to look for the apartment, they want out, stuff like that.
Well, hold
yada,
on, because
yada.
they go to the apartment. I know we mentioned this earlier, but
Yeah.
the apartment scene is so slow.
I mean, there are some good bits, like when he locks Elaine in the closet.
Yeah, I laughed. That was funny.
good.
That
Yeah.
that was
funny.
great. All right, Charlie, get in the
tip
closet.
joke.
We're locking you in there.
It was so much just walking around
Right.
and no dialogue,
No
no
s-
anything.
right.
Nothing.
I thought I will.
wow.
I want to defend the walking for a minute.
Okay.
When Jerry is like has his arms crossed and he's just kind of like walking around, I was like, that is a very like guy thing to do.
No,
like,
right.
It is,
And then
sure.
like Elaine like starts like kind of following him, and then he notices it and mimicking it, and so he like stops walking and she keeps walking. I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, this is absolutely something I
She
do
still
every
has
day.
feelings.
When I'm walking around a guitar store, I have my arms crossed and I just peer at the guitar.
That's me at the Lego store too.
But
anyways.
with the walking around and just kind of the silence, I mean, there are some shows that do that right, and they
Yeah.
have like similar scenes to that. But I just think for what Seinfeld was trying to set up,
Right.
Just didn't.
it
work.
doesn't work for this. It works sometimes, sure. Not saying that it doesn't work ever, but for what they were trying to pull off, no.
I think
don't
the
do
scene
that.
was just quicker.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have a problem with it.
right. And then there's the ending of that particular scene.
Oh my god.
Oh, the ending.
What was that, guys?
What
Guys.
part are we talking about specifically?
We're talking about the part where we mentioned this a little bit earlier, where Costanza is standing there. It cuts like Jerry's like, "I'll take it."
Oh,
It cuts
that
to a
scene.
shot of Costanza, and he just goes, "Congratulations," and then it
then
just
it
fades
fades
out.
out.
Clutch powers,
Clutch powers.
and then it just fades out. Why? Why was that? You know, you could have just ended it on
What was
the
going on in their brains at that time?
on the "I'll take it," or you could have had him say maybe a better line than just "Congratulations." He just stands there awkwardly, as
Or
it
don't
cuts
cut
out.
to him.
Right.
Have him
Yeah,
say
that's a
it
don't use it at
naturally
all.
Something
afterwards.
else. Just go. Figure it out.
Didn't after that they cut to another stand up? Or was
Maybe?
it? Because I don't remember if that was like
I
commercial
don't
break
know,
where they cut to
actually.
black, or if it went to something else.
I know. Oh, you know what? It was because he did this whole bit about Batman.
yeah.
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
The
Because I
themed
wrote-
villains.
Right. You know, it's all a lot harder to catch robbers. Da, 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 da.
And that's the other thing too, is with the comedy sketches, and I like that they did this later on, is where it started to make more sense towards the episode,
Right.
Because a lot of those stand up segments were very much non sequiturs,
Yeah, they're actually like taken from Jerry's original stand-up.
Exactly.
which that's I guess for like promotion, sure, but for this.
nah.
What does congratulations to talk about Batman have anything? What is that
God, is that
segue?
God, it's like, is that? Am I gonna like go up to you like next time I see you? I just go congratulations.
And you fade from existence.
Like
Life fades to black.
just gonna pull out the peace sign. Just I
vanishes.
Aaron, I
Yeah.
can't wait to be at your wedding. And like,
Congratulations.
yeah, then just leave.
No, you guys.
Like, I'm your best man or something.
Yeah, right.
Congratulations.
That's the end of
Like,
your speech, and you just disappear.
you guys can
Right.
do that at
Fade
my
away.
wedding in the future. I give you guys full reign. Anyways, on to episode 4.
I mean, no,
No,
not
because we still
yet.
got a little bit more.
Oh,
We
okay.
have to talk about how the episode ends
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah.
because, wow, was that the most cliche sitcom thing I've seen? in
Oh
my life.
yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Uh-huh.
I have this other apartment. What's the rent?
I mean,
Oh my
yeah.
god, it's like the same energy as ending your show with check, please.
Or and,
You know I'm right. Like it's like that was my exact thought. Like wow.
Or the group laugh. Or like,
Yeah.
well, that was certainly a big thing. Come
on, guys. Let's get out of here.
And the freeze frame.
Everywhere you look. But yeah, that's a real Full House ending, Seinfeld. Yeah. Lord have mercy.
Oh yeah.
Horrible ending. Horrible episode. What was it? It was fine. Whatever. Episode 4.
Yeah.
Jerry's childhood friend.
comes into play.
Which, yeah.
I think when it comes to, because I know earlier I said that some of these scenes happen out of order. This is what I meant.
Yeah.
Because
No, they
largely
definitely
this
did.
episode ends like where it feels like the midpoint is.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, oh, I guess we can't get rid of the friend. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole episode. Yeah.
Right.
You can't get rid of it.
Right.
It's like
well,
an
they've
itch.
kind
You
of
can't help
established also in the beginning when
Right,
he
when he
started
tries to break up with
crying,
them.
which was a really funny thing. Of like when I was expecting, I was like, he's gonna say it's not you, it's me. When he said
Right.
that, I started laughing. I was like, that was a really funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, the joke about flying out to Iran for the
That was
for the,
really funny.
for the
Yeah,
annual
that was.
terrorist business meeting. I was actually laughing really hard at that.
I
Yeah.
did too.
The funniest part is I can, okay, hear me out. I can relate to doing stuff like that.
How does this segue?
Okay. Listen, I can relate to that. Okay, stop.
How?
Stop. Okay.
Explain, please.
Hear me out, okay?
Aaron?
I'm not saying that I flew Iran. All right. I'm saying.
What part do you relate to if it's not the flying out part?
I have the shotgun.
Is okay, Shane. I can relate to this because my parents. I'll try to tell them.
Flew out
something.
to Iran?
No,
Were they a part of it?
no. They don't want to listen sometimes, so I'll make up random crap and just say it to see if they're paying attention. So my parents, big political, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm so if I walk in and I'll say they're like, I'm trying to tell them something and they're not listening at all. They're too busy on their phone or paying attention to the TV. I'll say something outrageous.
Yeah.
Outrageous and like the complete opposite of their political views. Then they pay attention.
Really?
Then they will pay
You start talking about the Green Party, and it's like it's over.
Yeah, if I say like,
Robert-
I don't think I'm gonna vote this year or something like that. I'll say that, and then they perk up. They're like,
Are you
"What did you
serious
just
right now?
What did you just say, Aaron?" I'm like, "Well, now that you're listening." So that I relate
that I
to
have
that.
your
I relate
attention.
to see if they're paying attention. I'll just say like random things
They're
like
gonna
that.
listen to this episode and be like, "Huh."
Yeah,
Maybe we should listen to our son
Mom,
more often.
Dad. You know. When
like,
I'm
enough with
trying
the
to-
monologues.
No.
Stop
You're
it with the
not
monologues.
listening.
You're like
No.
making out with the mic right now.
Yeah. Just get a room.
Yeah, and I
already.
was the one that established the 6 to 8 rule.
Well, yeah.
But hey,
But anyway.
that's what monologue is all about. You gotta,
But yeah. Anyway, so Jerry's making out with his friend. Just kidding.
he's making out with the mic.
Yeah, he's making. Yeah. So he's at
Mike's
the
name
table.
is Joel.
Discussing Iran.
Yeah, and he's making out and he's trying to get out, right? Like he's not exactly happy with his friendship because he's annoying. And you know what? We get it. Like Joel is a pretty annoying character.
Yeah,
Can
he is.
relate.
To
Yeah.
Joel or just
No, to like
To the
having
making
somebody
out?
like Joel.
no, right?
Yes.
Shane, to having somebody like Joel in your life.
Oh,
Right.
100%.
Yes.
See,
I
there's
do
this
too.
Charlie guy that hasn't left me alone since high school.
Ooh.
You talk to me. But anyway, the point is that yeah, we get it. He's annoying. They try to break up. Kind of funny. Doesn't work. We get it.
Yeah.
And the whole rest of the episode, like again, it takes very long to get to the point.
Yes.
And we spend this whole episode dilly-dallying going, oh, I gotta go to the Knicks game. Da, 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 da,
That,
da.
oh,
That
Yeah.
whole thing about
it's
the
like,
Knicks.
come on.
Just
I was sitting there. I was honestly like fuming at the TV. I was like, hurry up.
I'm just, oh,
I almost
brother,
fast-forwarded.
this guy stinks.
I almost fast forwarded, but I didn't because I wanted like the full context because I knew we were going to be doing this.
right.
So that's the only reason I did not. I full stock watched the entire episode start to finish.
Right.
No skipping, no anything. I paused if I had to, my parents were yelling in the other room for
Yeah.
me, something like that. But other than
Can
that,
you believe he went to Iran?
We did that whole thing
did
with
he
that
go?
organization.
Where is he now?
Why is he with that
Where'd he go?
organization? What's with the flags?
Meanwhile, like they hear the Seinfeld theme in your room
What's with the flags in his room?
of Kramer.
Kramer,
I know George Costanza.
it's like a stanza flag.
Can we get like for the set the flag of Barney saying commit tax fraud?
Yes.
Yeah.
I second
Is that
this
an actual
motion.
flag?
Alright.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
this.
I'm looking this up.
But anyway, back to not committing tax fraud. Seinfeld episode 4. But
Yeah.
it's just the whole episode. It's just first of all. So I've been saving this point for a minute now because I was thinking about it. But
Yeah.
the best way I can describe Seinfeld's writing with his characters is that they're likable jerks. They're not good people.
Yeah.
Largely. So, I mean, obviously, like, there's good elements to them, and we find them entertaining enough where we want to listen to them.
Sure.
And here's probably where I'm going to spit my weirdest take. They're just going to have to hear me out on this one. You have to write jerks the same way you write dictators or politicians in media. Weird. Hear me out. You need to make them charismatic. At least if you want your audience to root for them. Let's say you were, like, again, with a character like Costanza, who's a very neurotic, often makes the bad decision kind of character.
Yeah.
You need to give him likable traits, and this also comes down to the acting, which is obviously why Alexander does a great job.
Yeah.
But-
Jason Alexander is fantastic as.
Right. Listen to his podcast. Fun fact: he actually gets super in depth with what's kind of working on Seinfeld was like with Wayne Knight.
Yeah.
Very fun listen.
Yeah.
I've listened to it a few times.
And
Good
Wayne Knight's hilarious too.
Right, of
Definitely.
course. God, when's Newman coming?
As a guest,
Oh my god, dude, get
that would
Newman.
be awesome.
That'd be fun.
That would be
We all
awesome.
look at him and go, "Hello, Newman just wants to kill us because he's probably heard it 100 times
Newman.
that day."
I want Wayne Knight to be in studio.
Oh my god, dude! In his basement,
Just walking into my grandma's house.
In the dungeon?
Why not?
right?
Yeah.
Aaron, you have a lovely place.
I wish to stay here forever.
Does your grandma have room for another? Yeah, on the couch.
Is your grandmother seen anybody?
Whoa, Shane.
Yeah, family.
Whoa, Shane.
Whoa, Shane.
Whoa, Shane.
Whoa. First a proposal, and now asking if Aaron's grandma's seeing anyone. Make up your mind, man.
You know
This
what?
episode got so off topic.
Oh yeah, it does.
So fast.
It gets derailed.
Yeah, because that's what season 1 does to you.
Yeah.
It gets you derailed.
Yes, it does.
And, we're sitting there with this dingus friend.
Yeah.
And like I was mentioning earlier with Costanza and writing jerks, you need to make them charismatic because it makes this episode, and just not just like for Seinfeld, but for anything, it makes what you're trying to do a lot easier because if you can have something to latch onto when it comes to like kind of these characters, you want to root for them in a weird way.
Yeah.
Which is why Breaking Bad works because obviously like we like some parts of Walter White, so we want to root for him to a degree. It makes him engaging to watch.
Yes.
And that's largely what I think this season is missing at times where the characters just don't have the sauce yet.
Not yet, but they get it.
Oh, they get it. Don't get me wrong.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that Kramer sauce comes in nice.
100%.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. Get it all over me. But but anyway. So the episode ends with frickin' Jerry's annoying friend like weaseling his way into his life. Do we ever see this character again in the whole show?
Nope.
No. I don't think so. I don't think he ever
one.
makes it.
What was the point?
Right. Well, I mean, there's also the side plot with Kramer and the make your own pizza.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
America
yeah.
Industries.
That was weird.
I just kind of wrote it off as this is a Kramer bit. There'll be another one in the next episode.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Oh, 100%.
But
Kramer
they didn't
always
do anything
going
with
on
it.
his
Right.
side quests. It's funny. I would love to be with Kramer on a side
And
quest.
Elaine thought it was a good idea. Like she was kind of on board with
And
it.
she was into it.
But the whole thing, the side plot, of course, didn't go anywhere.
Right.
I mean, in later episodes, of course, you have him working with the. I worked in the dough with this one. He's working at the bagel store. But
right.
I kind of wish they went a little more with that.
Yeah, I want to see
season
Kramer
one,
make a pizza.
Yeah. Now, do you want to know what the name of his
it's all
business was gonna be?
supervised.
It's all going to be supervised. But the name of it was going to be Kramerica Industries.
Yeah, Kramerica
A
Industries,
pizza
yeah.
place where you can make your own pizza pie.
I mean, I know where we're getting dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Dude,
Yeah, there you go.
New York. Drive on down.
Make a quick drive to Manhattan.
Quick run to New York.
quick
Quick run to
Delta trip.
Kramer's.
But yeah,
You know what else we could talk about pretty quickly?
episode 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So this is actually my favorite episode of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Because this is probably the one episode of this season that I've seen on TV. I never seen the other 4 before.
Oh, Comedy Central wouldn't dare to ever run
Right.
the pilot.
But this
Or the 4th episode.
Pilot
Or the
already
fourth,
in
yeah.
the ground.
right after that Iran spectacular.
Yeah. Right.
The Aaron was a part of. The allegations.
Shane?
But Shane,
Zaz?
Zaz,
Where are you,
no,
buddy?
Zaz.
You're needed.
Zaz, we have the most open.
Hey Siri, call Stash Zaz.
No.
No way.
Can we shine the Zaz signal?
Is it just a silhouette of his head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you said that, Brice, my Siri activated. Do it again. I dare you.
No.
Fine, later. Anyways.
Well, I went nowhere.
Yeah, talking about the non sequiturs.
Anyway, we're really emulating season 1 to a T right now.
Exactly.
We're giving you the season 1 experience.
Reenactment.
Right. But anyway, we start with, they're talking about food, or Jerry's talking about food or whatever. Like, what's this?
And then-
What's the check? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah.
a funny
It
bit.
was all right.
Yeah.
And then
the
there's-
tuna.
Yeah, right. And they're talking about the logistics of Superman being funny, which I get it. This was written in a certain time where Superman was, at least, well, I mean, he was kind of funny in those times, but it was definitely before, like, the grim, dark era of the
course, yeah.
character. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know.
Kind of set up Jerry's big love of Superman.
Which, hey, in a world where everyone's obsessed with Batman, I can appreciate one guy loving Superman. But, we get all of that, and then we get to the main plot of the episode where there's a stack.
Yeah.
That George knows a guy who knows a guy, and they know it's going to hit it big at some certain time. He gets
Yeah.
he gets what? Kramer and Jerry to go in on it, right? I don't think Elaine does.
No,
I didn't think Kramer went
No,
in on
Kramer
it.
didn't go in on
No,
it.
Kramer
No,
did.
because Kramer kept on saying he shouldn't have gone in.
No,
Exactly.
you're right.
He shouldn't have.
So Jerry and George go into it, and it's a whole thing because Jerry's all stressed or whatever, and he doesn't
Because
really know.
he's never done anything with the market. He's
Right.
Yeah,
And-
a novice to it.
Right, a green amateur. But anyway,
Yeah.
and we see the return of Vanessa from the other episode.
Yes,
Vanessa's
As
back?
his now
Oh, no.
girlfriend.
Right, and he's trying to like kind of take her on this trip to kind of speed up the process of the relationship. His words, not mine. And obviously, like he's balancing that with the whole stock thing because his whole concern was that he didn't want to spend the whole vacation like stressed about the stock when he's trying to have like some time with his girlfriend or whatever.
A healthy relationship.
Right. The problem is that he sells the stock. He doesn't trust it. It keeps going down and down in points.
yeah.
And obviously, because comedy dictates it, so George didn't sell it all. He held like I don't
champ.
know, a fiend, and
The fiend that he is.
the fiend that George is.
Yeah.
And obviously, it works out for George because we get the whole bit with the cigars and how he's being like all weird and snotty to everyone.
Which was my
I'm glad I kept with my stock.
right. Because that's what all brokers sound like.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did that voice. I just did it
They-
for
they
fun.
It's
all-
like that New Jersey accent from the other episode.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about that.
I don't know, Shane. Which Jersey do you go to?
Yeah.
my dad grew up in Jersey, so I'm gonna give you a crash course.
What was his opinion on that?
I haven't showed him yet.
Well,
I can show him.
That needs to be a post.
I mean, my dad has very distinct opinions on what Jersey accents are because his doesn't come out very often.
Yeah.
But when it does,
New Jersey man reacts to Shane.
Go to New Jersey and show that.
yeah,
one
that's an
highlight.
extras that we're gonna upload.
No,
Hey guys, this is Charlie's dad.
What do you think of this?
What do you think about this New Jersey accent?
God, it sucks.
No, it does. I have to admit that I made it suck.
That's the
Anyways.
episode. Honestly, it's like
Well, don't forget that the person that told Jerry and George to invest in it ended up in the hospital.
That-
Yeah, he
That's right.
disappeared, and then Kramer it was Costanza got kicked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was really funny.
Yeah,
But they didn't show it.
of course
They
they
never
didn't show it.
did.
Of
They
course
never
not.
add on to it in the future.
right. I
Not
feel like
once.
wasn't there a subplot I'm missing in this episode? Wasn't there
Probably
something?
a Kramer subplot.
Oh, the vacation going terribly.
Well, I mean, I'd argue that's probably some of the main plot. Was that it? Like, it was really just vacation and stocks? Am I missing something?
Stocks.
All right, hold on. I wrote notes, guys. I promise. I was, paying attention. But
I don't.
No, I don't think there was.
No, there
one
wasn't.
in
I
this
just
episode.
watched
Really?
this episode a couple hours ago. No.
okay, never mind then. But I guess to kind of wrap this up,
Which
because
is weird because
I know,
most
right?
of them have side,
Something.
something to.
But I guess
entertain.
whatever you want to consider a main and a side plot. But this episode definitely felt a little more like classic Seinfeld, just in
Agreed.
terms of how, as an episode goes on, everything really kind of just goes wrong
Yeah, which is great.
in just grand theatrical scale, which is what makes the show fun.
There's a great play actually that's out there. I don't know if you've ever seen this or heard about it. The play that goes wrong.
Yeah,
That's
That-
a good one.
It reminds me a lot of Seinfeld. Kind of not everything, but that whole everything kind of going to sugar honey iced tea.
yeah. We don't swear
Yeah.
here.
So that just reminds me so much. But that's a great play. You should check it out. I won
Right.
free tickets to it one time.
I've never heard
Very
of
Why
good.
didn't you tell me?
You never heard of
Because
it?
it was a long time ago.
Oh,
You see,
why didn't you tell me?
hey guys, if at my college, if we decide to do that play,
Yeah.
I will buy tickets for all three of you.
Let's go.
All right, I'll just have to drive like 10 hours to
You
get
got
there.
you got to get one to Frank too.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah,
Belgian
oh, yeah.
guy.
Frank, Belgian guy,
We'll live
Phil,
stream
Zaz too. I'd invite Zaz.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna take your spot anyway.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
the Shane send off.
No,
the
that will
tickets.
not never be
The
my
Seagull
send-off.
send off.
Oh my
I
god.
don't want that to be my send off.
We'll talk about the FNAF movie just for you and kick you out with a boot.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Really doing
I mean, the movie, yes,
No.
kicking me out. Actually,
Now I talk
nah.
about.
Yeah. No, I'm
Maybe
good.
not with that.
I'm
The
good.
games, probably. The movie,
Are you talking about the Seinfeld pilot?
That was scary enough.
Yeah, that was scary in of
Traumatizing.
itself. 5 nights of Seinfeld episodes.
Is this
Yeah.
where you want to be?
Is this what we are?
I just don't get it.
But I don't know. That's season 1.
Yeah.
That is season
Nonsensical.
one.
5 episodes.
I know we didn't mention everything about each episode, which I don't know.
Oh, which
it's-
we tried to cover at least,
the
the
majority.
main
majority
stuff
of it, which I think we did very well.
Yeah. I think we did.
We'll let the market decide, I
Yeah,
guess.
well, if you guys download this one and you like it, we'll do more.
You interested in revolving door after hours stock?
Dude, it's
Not revolving door. That's
it's a penny stock.
dude, it's half a cent stock.
No, it's worth a napkin and a paper clip, which was our
Not
show
even
budget.
money.
I will also say one more thing to add on to the end. Speaking of the
Sure.
stocks, the thing at the end where George was like having him like come closer while he's smoking the cigar, and he's trying to tell him about the new like investment
Robot
opportunity that
butcher?
comes up. Yeah, about the robot butcher.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard at that because he's like Jerry goes, "What about a robot butcher?" He goes, "Hey, don't tell everybody."
tell
And he's like
right.
trying to like keep it down. I was laughing so hard at that.
Right.
It's great.
So I
Yeah.
think that's my final thoughts on it.
Yeah. I kind of mentioned my final thoughts, but again, a lot of growing pains. And again, it feels very weird criticizing a show like this, like, because we know it works out. Yeah.
of course,
We watched the
True.
later seasons. They figured this stuff out. But I guess we're largely doing this for one thing. I think it's interesting that we're covering season 1 of a show while we're still starting this podcast. Because this is only
We're in
what?
our season 1.
This is episode 12.
Yeah.
So, we're...
Lord knows our pilot was rough.
Whew.
Oh, let's not talk about that.
But,
Yeah, I'm glad you're not defending it anymore.
yeah.
Listen,
Do it.
moving on.
Actually, don't listen to episode 1.
Yeah.
No, you
don't.
should listen. It's the most downloaded episode. Add more. But,
Oh,
Guarantee you I can explain why.
Just play it in the background of whatever you're doing. Just don't
Yeah.
pay attention.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
pay attention.
God forbid.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. That's Seinfeld season 1. A weird wet fart of a show, but I will end it on this because you said, how would this get picked up?
Yeah.
It was cheap to produce. A lot of the criticism we were talking about, not a lot of set changes, as
No.
we get later.
Uh-huh.
It was cheap to produce. And in an era where a lot of networks were willing to take a shot on a show when it was cheaper to produce, as because especially nowadays we don't really do that much anymore, because if something is a smash hit from season 1, boy, gone.
Just ask Constantine.
Right. This asks a lot of shows, honestly. But it was cheap to produce, and obviously there was something there. There were bits that we did genuinely like about this. This wasn't a pure, like, bash fest, like, I guess maybe some people thought it was going to be from the title.
Yeah.
Well, except the pilot.
Well,
Except the pilot.
Yeah, the pilots. No.
stinky stew. But
Yeah.
it got better as the season went on. It got better, obviously, as the show went on. There's something to this, and obviously everyone knows that because it's one of the most popular shows in the world.
I'd argue it changed comedy, but that's a story for another
No,
day.
I'd agree with you. But we'll get into that when we get into later seasons of the show.
If we get
In the future.
Exactly.
please like this episode, guys.
Share it around,
Yeah.
please.
Please.
Belgian guy. You're on the
It's
case.
Cairo.
You're on the case.
Anyways. Aaron,
Anyways.
what are your thoughts on season 1?
So, my final thoughts. Yay. Because, why not? So, the pilot, dog water. It'll always be dog water.
Ball water.
Ball water. Ball water, dog water, all kinds of bad, murky
Flint water.
Flint water. Yeah, well, I wasn't going to go there, but.
I mean, he
all
really
right.
let us on. Did it?
But anyways, so the pilot will always be dog water, ball water, whatever. It's bad. It's bad. But yeah, like you said, we're just this is going to be mostly regurgitating, and I apologize.
yay.
Parroting. Yeah, there's a lot of parroting here. But yeah, it did get better. Seinfeld is still one of my favorite shows of all time. I was introduced to it because of my dad. Well, I sat and watched episodes, and of course it was on TV, so it was the random, assortment.
Right.
But sometimes they would air them like episode
reruns.
19, 20, 21, 22, and then they would go to another season or whatever. But those were phenomenal episodes, and it became one of my favorite shows. I still quote Festivus to this day.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I have the poll, okay? Listen, I'm a big Seinfeld fan. I have the poll, okay? The poll is it's sacred. Tinsel, it's distracting. But right, there you go. So I'm glad that the show got picked up, even,
Despite the pilot.
Despite that pilot.
Yeah.
I'm glad the show got picked up. I'm glad the show became what it is. And yeah, there were moments in the show that made me laugh, and it had its awkward congratulations. But that made the show it made the show that I love, and that's all I got to say about that.
Oh my God, Eric, can we after the thank you for listening is your congratulations?
Yeah, we'll get a soundbite of
It's
that.
so funny.
Exactly.
But anyway.
and you all
Jaron,
heard
you got a
my
mission.
thoughts on this.
Yes. Okay, your final thoughts, Shane.
All right, yeah. So my final thoughts, it's good in its own sense. Like again,
Okay.
with the pilot, it's iffy, especially with in the way of the video because it went from like your film
To tape,
to tape, all that. It was just it didn't work out.
But it was
me.
cheap.
Exactly,
Like you said, it was
cheapest way of
cheap to
doing
make.
it.
Yeah.
So it was good. I do like all like the funny bits. Too much of the laugh track is kind of it. Kramer is just that one crazy guy.
Yeah. Kessler.
Kessler. Sorry, I forgot his name.
Yeah.
George is not the average Joe. He is his own figment of his imagination. Kind of. Well,
It's a weird way of putting that.
he has a lot going.
Didn't watch the episodes.
I did watch the episode.
You're describing an Epcot ride now.
I did watch the episode. Thank you very much. Anyways,
Well, you sound like an angry high school football coach. Get out there, Jimmy.
You're gonna win this game. I don't care if you broke your Achilles. You're going in.
Listen, Jerry, you're gonna win this game.
Win it or you're watching the pilot.
Jerry.
come on. Anyways,
Why is your Kramer voice so deep?
He did because he didn't watch the episode.
I did watch the episode. Thank you very much.
Never seen it.
I have.
God, dude, that's a shirt, just the Seinfeld logo, but never seen it. First bit of merch, guys.
Oh, yeah.
All right, moving on with what I was saying.
Yeah?
Before I was
Again?
rudely interrupted again.
Oh, you want to talk about being rudely interrupted?
I was accident. Anyways,
He's a yapper without a cause. I don't want to hear any of
Pretty
this.
much.
At least you have a cause, Charlie.
Yeah.
all right. Can you not?
Whatever.
All right.
What do you mean?
You know what?
Shane? What do you mean? You cannot.
Bryce is like running around the studio right now.
Go crazy.
The way that Aaron said,
What do you mean? What do you mean?
All right.
But in the second movie,
right.
there's actual food. Where does it go?
All right.
Exhaust pipe.
All right. You know what? Let's just
Some big
back to
old-
George. George as a character is interesting because he has his own stuff going on with his investment, his job, yada yada. There's a lot more with him. Moving on from George, this show definitely had potential. It ran on for 9 seasons. It was great. It's also one of my favorite shows of all time because it was during COVID. I did rewatch Seinfeld, and I'm just like, I have nothing to watch. There's nothing good, yada yada. And I told my mom overheard me and was just like, just watch Seinfeld. I watched it a lot, and I think you'll like it.
Look how I turned out.
Yeah, and look at how I turned out.
I made you.
You,
Because of Seinfeld?
Yeah.
I created you.
that in the
You
background?
created me.
That was the romantic lighting.
No. Anyways.
They have a picture of the Costanza.
The Costanza. Yeah, there you go.
The Costanza just doing this.
The way Shane's dad entered the room before Shane was born was
Wait a
how Kramer looked when he was like showing off the underwear.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's the hand model.
Anyway.
All right. Anyways, that was Seinfeld season 1.
Yes.
yes, it
I
was.
think that's how we're gonna end it.
That's an episode and a half.
Did I share my final thoughts?
Did
Yeah,
you?
you
Yeah,
did.
you did.
I did.
Did you?
I thought it went Charlie,
No, it went
Shane,
you.
Charlie, Aaron.
No, you.
No, you did.
Said you're
you
fi-
did. It went you.
Did you?
Charlie.
Do them again.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
Mine are short anyway, so
Yeah,
it's
that's
fine.
That's fine.
Basically, I just thought it was all right. Like it was
Yeah.
much better than I was expecting because yet again I hadn't seen it and I saw Charlie's basic rage bait basically.
If it works, it works.
And so
It'll make people angry and they'll listen.
yeah, exactly.
They'll give us views.
Thank you. And so that's why
Play
I
the frog out.
with the exception of the pilot, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I was cracking up and laughing my head off at the end of the very end of the season where George had the cigar and everything.
Oh,
So,
of course.
yeah, with that being said, folks, thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
All right.
So obviously, like we said a billion times, if you want to, support us talking about this show, download the crap out of this episode, and we'll make season 2, and then season 3 and beyond. Well, obviously, we love this show. We
And
wanna
other
keep-
shows too.
Exactly,
Yes.
because this is kind of our pilot, I guess, technically, of talking about TV.
Yes.
So if you guys
Pilot
want to.
talking about the pilot of a show.
Thanks, Shane. So if you guys want us to. So if you guys want us to talk about TV this way, we go season by season because, that's just kind of what we think is the easiest and most interesting way for us to talk about it. Obviously, support us. I think that's all we have yet to say. Aaron,
Well, also, we do have something out right now that you can check out. It is the episode topic ideas.
Yes,
thing.
we do. If
Yes.
you guys do have an episode idea that you do want to submit, we do have a Google form on our Instagram and Facebook page you can check out.
Yes.
It's the Double After Hours podcast. Just check it out on Instagram. It has our logo on it and everything. It'll be hard to miss. If you want to submit an episode idea, please fill out that form because we're obviously looking at those because we want to do what you guys want to listen to, just the way it is.
Yeah.
So
We're listening to you, people.
Exactly. So I don't know. That's all I really have to say. I'm Charlie Robinson. I'll see you all next time.
I'm Brice Geskovic. I'll see y'all next time.
I'm Shane Siegel, and I will see you guys in the future.
And I'm Aaron Gresser.
Coming to you live from Iran.
This is a lot of yada, yada, yada. Goodbye.
A lot of cutting.
A lot of cutting, yes. A lot of yada, yada, yada. And we'll catch you next time. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to the Double After Hours podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Be sure to check out our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I'm Aaron Gresser, and thanks for staying after hours.
Congratulations.